Hi all, hope you all are doing good. So we are back with one more new and crucial concept. So people who have worked with JavaScript very much, for them this is not it's just a piece of cake. But for people like me, it's a very good thing because in Spring Boot we may basically focus on Java to read the content and all. But today we are going to make use of JavaScript to read the content. So what's the use case that we are going to achieve today? So in general, initially I thought of parsing the content and to validate whether let's say a read attachment from the mail, and from that attachment we are going to parse the content, and we are going to see okay whether that file is coming from source this, like just to validate, just to parse okay that content is have this line, that content is having this paragraph, that content is having this heading or not. If yes, move it to one user task. If no, move it to other user task, basically parsing it. But instead of that, maybe that we can do some other time, but for today what we are going to do is we are simply going to parse the file having the JSON content. Okay, we are going to work with XML later on, but today's part we are going to parse the JSON content. And what is the use case? So today we are going to read the configuration values from the properties so that we can simply put the dynamic variables in the workflow throughout the big complex workflow, and we are simply going to get the configuration value variable value from the file and put it in the workflow. So I hope that's a very simple thing, and it's of course a crucial thing. So let's execute first, and then we'll see what is the script, how it is going on and all. Okay, so first let me just show you what is the configuration we are having. Okay, let me uh, bring that up. So there we go. We simply have okay, let me zoom in a bit. I will not repeat this mistake again. So I hope now you are able to see it clearly. So basically we have a category 1, and we have all the properties of that category 1. Then we have category 4, then we have all the properties of category 4. Now here what's the difference? Here we have multi levels. I can say just 2 level. Here we have only 1 level, right? So we are going to see how we can do. And here we are also considering, like if I have thousands properties, okay, like category if I have 1,000 different APIs which I am communicating, but at any point of time if I want only one to communicate only with one application, so I want the properties of only that API, right? So let's say I want to make use of category 1 configuration. In that case I don't want 1,000 other things, right? So that's how we are going to reduce, or I can say improve the performance. And based on the reusability of the function, we are going to say okay, now I want to make a API call to first software 1, so I need to get the properties of software 1. Similarly, if I want to get the properties of software 2 at later at any point of time, I'm simply going to make a call to that again and again. So like that I'm going to say properties of which I want. Okay, so that's how our script is there. But for now simply execute and get the configuration value, then we'll talk about script. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, let me, I have already everything ready for the deployment. So as of now you can see it's 142 deployments. Open Postman, this is my bpmn file, and this is my script config. So let me show bpmn as well. I simply have a start task, nothing else. I have a service task, and for that service task I have not used the expression or any kind of implementation, so I just kept it true. So instead of this, the better way is just put a script task. That's more easy, right? So this is I went in the flow and I wrote it. But what you can what you can use if you are not using these properties and you simply want to write a script, just go with the script task. Where is that? Yeah, there you go. Here you can write directly. Okay, so this is service task is kind of heavy weighted. Now let's get back to the point. So if I, in the service task I have a listener in which I have a start script. So in that start script I have kept some script to load the configuration, and then we have a user task just to hold on the flow and watch out on the cockpit. So that was the complete workflow. Now we'll talk about the script in few minutes. So let's get deployed. Now what are the things that I'm going to share is what are the troubles that I'm facing, what could be the recommended ways and points, something like that. Okay, so let's just hit this. Okay, we'll wait for it. Why it is taking that much time? Okay, so it's done. Now if I refresh, demo login, don't save, and I see there's a new process and 143rd deployment. Okay, so this is dynamic configuration, and I don't want this, and I want to open. Okay, so let's wait. I don't know why this is taking much time. This is running on localhost only. Okay, now let's open local task list as well, and I see that it's a definition version and there is no process instance running. Okay, so let's go to task list, and yeah, failure, finish, try, refreshing. Okay, I used to go with the Chrome in general, but I don't know why. Just for the demo purpose I have used Firefox. So let me just remove the search query. Okay, let me open in Chrome only. So yes, in Chrome I think it's working fine. I don't know what's wrong with the Firefox, but there we go. So this is my cockpit. I hope you are able to see, and there's no process instance. Let me just refresh this, and this is a task list, and for me 0 tasks are assigned. So yeah, nothing is there. Start process, dynamic configuration, and business key, let's say uh, demo 1, and start, and the process has started. Let's refresh, and I can see one task is assigned to me. So this is just to hold the value, nothing else. So if I come back and refresh, process instance, so there we go. If I open it, I can see all the configuration value. So let's put this side by side. If we can see, we have category. For this category 1 authorization, I've created a variable called category 1 underscore authorization. For this category 1 underscore server, for this category 4 underscore URL underscore API URL. I hope the values and all is fine. So basically we are able to fetch it. Now let's talk about script. Yeah, there could be like, I have simply loaded every configuration, but I am making the function reusable. So how the call, okay, let's talk about script. Yeah, so this is my notepad plus plus, move to other view, and there we go. Let me zoom in a bit. I hope the font is still visible, and let me just bring this aside and zoom in a bit. Okay, so first of all we are writing a function, and the function is expecting a file name. Okay, and then this file name, it is trying to, okay, let's just go with the flow. So here is a file name and here is a key. So key in the sense I want a category 1 or category 4, that's it. Because if I say category 1, it is going to fetch me this complete content. If I say category 4, it is going to fetch me the value of that, basically the value of that parameter in the JSON. Okay, now first I'm getting the definition ID, and then as we have seen in the Postman, that I'm deploying this as part of deployment. I'm not keeping it somewhere in the resources or something. I'm just sending it as a part of deployment. Okay, so first I'm going to get the deployment ID. Now I have access to everything that I have deployed as part of this deployment ID. So for that sake, I'm going to get the deployment ID, and in the deployment ID I'm going to get the resource. So here I'm saying that in the resource for this deployment ID, I want this file name. So here the file name should be, again, this is a bit confusing. So this I can put anything, but my file name should be this one, the value, not the key. Okay, so this I am just putting same just for the reference, but you can put ABCD here, no issues, no issue with the extension, file name, nothing. Just that we have to access with the value. Here the key is not required, it is just for our reference. Okay, so I'm giving the file name, and that file name I'm getting in as a part of resource through the deployment of files. Okay, now here we are using the Java libraries as part of JavaScript script of JavaScript. Okay, so here I've got this. Now I'm scanning everything. Okay, now here I'm saying, okay, what kind of encoding is it, and I'm basically getting you can say a pen or something, a reader object, file reader object, I can say, yeah, file reader object. And then I'm reading the complete content of that file using the file reader object with the delimiter called //z. So this basically says till the end of the file, read the complete thing in a single go. Okay, so here next, in the sense, if you have seen, if we have a scanner object, how do we read it? s.nextInt, s.nextFloat, s.nextDouble. Similarly for string, we read it as s.next. So here we are with the next we are reading the complete token, and the token is ending with the end of file. Okay, so that's how the slash slash z will be this end of file. So this complete thing will come under as a single string, and that's how file text I'm having. Now I know file text. So if you have not seen the previous video where I have explained about json dot string if json dot stringify, json dot parse, spin, and all these crucial things, just watch that, refer that once, and then you can come back to this video. So what we are doing here is, if I am sure that the content which is in the string format is of json, in that case I will go for spin. So here spin can be used to get the xml out of the string, or can be used to get the json out of the string. Basically the parameter is string, and I'm telling spin that by default, okay, by default it will consider application slash json. I can also ask it to read application slash xml from the string. That's up to me. Okay, now since I'm using spin, it knows that string contains the content of type json, so I got the json text. Now I'm simply saying json text. So at this point of time, json text means this complete thing. Okay, so I am simply saying json text dot prop of key. So which key am I passing? This key. So that key, let's say category 1 is a key, so property of key in the sense this. So this complete thing I am returning as a config. Now I can simply use the value. Let's say category 4 is a key, then this complete thing I am getting as a response of this. I hope the function is clear. Now let's see what is happening when I'm saying this is fine, this is fine, file name, this is not required here, and this is also not required. Fine. So here basically I'm saying that okay, you call this function, give the file name, and I want category 1. So now in the category 1 config I have this complete thing. I hope that makes sense. Now I'm saying that category 1 config is a string which has a json content again. So I'm going to pass it under spin, and then I can access the methods of json, which is properties, has properties. We have some methods. We can just go through CAMUNDA documentation for json handling or spin. Okay, so here once I have the json as the output of this, I am simply selecting the property subcat1. So here in the previous video I have explained the 9 techniques of exception handling, error handling, and the other incident handling. So as part of that, I can first check whether it has property or not, and if not, and if it is a mandatory, I can either assign a default value or something, exception handling, or I can move it to a different user task, or I can throw a signal, or I can throw a BPM and error, or something I can do. So basically exception handling. But here not diverting from the topic, we are just assuming that okay, it is there for sure. We are not doing error handling or anything here. For that, please refer the previous video. And now here we are simply selecting property of subcat1. So as soon as I select the property of this complete value I'm getting. Now in this I'm saying prop authorization. Okay, so now that authorization I am getting, and the string value. I hope the script makes sense. So this I'll share as part of the GitHub project that we have. I'll share the link in the description, but for now I hope this makes sense. Okay, so that's all for today. Now what are the public questions that I can put here? Okay, so let's see this. So here we are getting the file from the deployment resource. Okay, now you can help me out in finding if I put it in the resource folder or some folder in the Spring Boot or in the Tomcat somewhere. If I put it, how can I access it? Yes, we have / deployment. For the deployment we have / resource or something like that to access from the file. So again, the format of accessing the file, if it is kept as part of some file location, it is going to be different for Spring Boot, different for Tomcat. So just mention that in the comment section, so people visiting can just get help from that. So we can read from deployment, we can read from the resources folder, and the reading format that is, let me just show you this thing. If I let's say I want to load something, how can I show example? Okay, implementation, yeah, external. So here okay, no, not this one. Let me bring that up. So let's say script task, and instead of inline script I am saying external resource. So here I am basically referring the some file. Okay, so how I'm going to refer it in the term guide, in the strong mention that, and if possible, if if you have already done any sample use case, please provide that link also, so that even the other people who have explored that much part, they are sharing with you, and what you have done you can share it with us. So overall, if you want to involve in such kind of discussion, please do join the Discord server. You can find it in the about sections. If you have any queries, please do mention in the comment section. You can ping me on my Insta, I have that in the about section again. You can ping me on Gmail, I have that on about section again. Finally, if you like my explanation, please do subscribe, click on notification bell, and share as much as possible. Again, the stat says that 90% of my viewers are not subscribers, so please do support me by clicking on that subscribe and notification bell. So that's all for today. Thank you, have a great day.